Welcome to the Wickedly Smart Women podcast, featuring stellar conversations with emerging and established wickedly smart women. Thanks for joining us today as we celebrate women who are committed, care deeply, and have the courage to take action and create conscious change all around the world. Now here's your wickedly smart host, Angel B. Hartwell.
Welcome to another episode of the Wickedly Smart Women podcast, where we celebrate wickedly smart women and provide our listeners with a wealth of wisdom along with immediately actionable steps to be smarter, spunkier, and more successful in their impact and their leadership. This is your host, Angel B. Hartwell, and today we are putting on a very special episode. This is one of 5 episodes that we have that are in service to the promotion and sharing of our brand new book, Wickedly Smart Women, Trusting Intuition, Taking Action, and Transforming Worlds. And today we have a panel of 4 of our co-authors. We have with us today Linley Baker, Stacey Magovern, Nicole Mendes, and Sally Green. So I'm going to start by just introducing each of them, and then we're going to jump right into having them share a little bit about what inspired them to participate in this book. So starting with Linley. Linley, after graduating with high honors from the Wharton School of Business, pursued a successful actuarial career. Actuarials is applied mathematics in insurance. She quit to raise her 6 children for 19 years in 4 countries. She earned a Master of Music Performance degree from Ball State University and also speaks 4 languages. Linley returned to her profession and in 5 years was promoted to full vice president, and she shares that unconventional career paths are possible through her company, Linfluence. Her first book is her message, Don't Be Afraid to Do What You Really Want to Do, Reach All of Your Life Dreams. And her chapter in our book is Trust Your Intuition to Reach Your Life Dreams. So welcome, Linley. And the next person we're going to introduce is Stacey Magovern. Stacey went from outside salesperson to running a multi-million-dollar company overnight. The wife of a police officer, Stacey's passion for helping families of law enforcement became her business. She launched her company, Point Blank Safety Services, in 2012 with no way of knowing today that her company would be one of the most successful traffic safety and security companies in Texas. She then used that success to pay it forward by founding a nonprofit, the Blue Family Fund, that provides scholarships for first responder dependents and financial aid to families of injured or fallen law enforcement officers. Stacey is not just the CEO and founder of these businesses, but is also a best-selling author, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker. And her chapter is From Outside Sales to Multimillion-Dollar Company Owner. Welcome, Stacey. So glad you're here. Nicole Mendes is an international traveling chef, originally from Massachusetts. She spent the past several years working in some of the finest restaurants in Boston while integrating her background and love of farming into her work. Recently stepping away from the restaurant life towards a path of inner work and spirituality, she's now navigating life more gracefully and intentionally while integrating more consciously into her role as a traveling chef and farmer of the world. Her deep passion for food, as she describes, is one of the best ways to break down the barriers between people, opening them up to love and nourishment while offering a glimpse into her life. And her chapter is A Transcendent Traveler from My Heart to My Hands. Welcome, Nicole. We're so glad you're here. And Sally Green is our final panelist, and she's the vice president of author development at Action Takers Publishing, which is our publisher for the book. So excited you're here, Sally. And she is a 6-time international best-selling author, speaker, and mentor, helping women grow spiritually with her Self-Care Rockstar program, and is currently in the process of writing her own book titled The Self-Care Rockstar. In her spare time, she enjoys painting and teaches acrylic paint classes to local senior citizens, women's groups, and children's summer camps. And her chapter is Dreams Don't Work Unless You Do. So welcome, Sally. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to start with you, Sally, because I'm going to go round and round here. I'm going to ask you what inspired you to become a collaborative author in this particular book.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been on a journey for the last 2 years, and being part of these collaboration books has been a big part of that. That's what kind of got me started in the publishing business with Action Takers Publishing. And got into my first collaboration book during COVID. I was given the opportunity to be in a book, and I raised my hand, and I was scared. I had no idea what a collaboration book even was. And I wrote my chapter and submitted it. And I was in a book with 150 other authors. It was a huge book. And, I started reaching out to the other authors and connecting with them. And some of these were just amazing people that I didn't know before. And so I was like, I love doing this. And so I got an opportunity to be in a second one, and I said yes. And then I connected with Linda, who was in that book, one of the books with me, and she was putting together books. And so I hopped into her books. And so it's been just so wonderful connecting with all the other authors and growing my business and growing myself by being in their presence. And so I just love it. And so when this opportunity came up, I was like, you know what, I'm in. When Linda called me, I said, yeah, let's do it. So
yeah, baby. Well, thank you so much. All right, Nicole, what inspired you to become a co-author in this book?
There's many reasons that have inspired me to go into this journey. The past year of my life specifically has kind of been one of a lot of immense healing and letting go of the past. And so I saw this opportunity to be in this book as a way to continue my transformations, and also as a networking opportunity to meet other inspiring women and to kind of share my voice in the world, not only as a chef, but I feel like I have a unique perspective on the world. I'm a transgender woman, and I want to offer my perspective on my journey, not only throughout my life, but in my career in the food industry and all the struggles I've had to go through in the restaurant industry and my journeys of coming out. And so I kind of viewed this as the inner voice inside me kind of finally being like, hey, I think it's time for me to share my voice in the world. And what other better way and affirming way to do it in a book with other women and inspiring women. So it's kind of a little bit of a nerve-wracking step for me to take in my career and in my journey, but I think it's a really unique one that can kind of shed light on the transgender community, the LGBT community, and kind of open up doors for many other people to feel confident and comfortable in themselves, and to go out there and take on the world and not let anything hold them back. So here I am.
Yay. Well, I'm going to ring my bell because Nicole is actually the first transgender woman that we've had on Wickedly Smart Women. So in addition to being part of the book, this is a seminal moment here on the podcast as well. So welcome, and thank you so much for your inspiration. So let's move to Stacey. What inspired you to participate in this book?
Yeah, I've been in another collaborative book a couple of years ago, and it was just a great experience. And, who doesn't want to be in a book called Wickedly Smart Women, right? I mean, just the name alone, and I'm sorry, my eyes are watering and everything, but just the name alone makes me want to be in it. I mean, it's a great name, partnered with a great podcast, and I'm just excited. I built my whole sales career before my business on networking. And so to network with women that are wickedly smart and have done similar things gets me excited and motivates me to get out of bed every morning.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Stacey. Linley, what inspired you to participate?
When Linda called and she said what we were doing, she seemed to be trying really hard to sell the idea to me, but she really didn't need to, because I feel like this is exactly what I want to do. I have a message to particularly women of the world, and to send it out with a lot of other women, wickedly smart women's ideas too, is just a really great opportunity. And it really aligns with my book, Don't Be Afraid to Do What You Really Want to Do, Reach All Your Life Dreams. And in that, I talk about you don't have to be super smart to reach your life dreams. You just have to be mindful about it. And I give strategies. And so I feel like this is a way to help everybody be smart.
Beautiful. All right. So now what I'd like to do is ask you, Linley, again, what do you hope the readers of this book are going to get out of your chapter, which is titled Trust Your Intuition to Reach Your Life Dreams?
I think that our life dreams really come from our intuition, and that it's more than just a random idea. Like someone might like horses or alligators or music or rock climbing. I mean, everybody has these things that they like or they think they would like. And a lot of times people discount them like, well, my family doesn't do that, or I don't know how to do that. And I think if we give those ideas a little more belief and trust, and then we go off and we try to do something that we think we might like, we're going to be surprised more often than not that it not only makes us happy, but it feeds our souls. And so I think it's really important for people to know that, intuition is a real valuable thing and not just some kind of fleeting idea.
Beautiful. I love it. Sally, what do you hope readers are going to get out of your chapter, which is titled Dreams Don't Work Unless You Do?
Yeah. Well, writing this really made me think about all the different things that I've been through in my life and how each thing prepared me for the next thing that was to come. And, how if I look back at my life, my childhood and then adulthood and, where right now heading into retirement or I'm never going to retire, but that age, it's like, all right, you know what? Everything I've been through has prepared me and propelled me, to right now to go after my dreams because I've got all that experience. I've got all that stuff that's happened and I'm able to use that. And I think, that happens to all of us. We're on this journey and whatever it is we want to go after, whatever it is, the dream that we want, we're prepared for it. We've lived it. We can go forward in knowing that, you know what, I've been through some stuff. I got this. So that's what I really want the reader to know.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing there, Sally, and I think this is the case for all of the authors here, the title of the book is Wickedly Smart Women, Trusting Intuition, Taking Action, and Transforming Worlds. But what I just heard from what you just said, Sally, is it's more than just trusting intuition. Like the trusting intuition part is really important, but it's also like trusting our life experience is what I heard there. Like it's not just about our urges to move forward, but it's also about our ability to look at what we've already accomplished and lean on that and trust in that as well. So yeah, thank you so much for bringing that.
Thank you.
All right, beautiful ladies. Well, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to find out what Stacey and Nicole would like readers to get out of their chapter. But right now, Wickedly Smart Women, we could use your help, specifically with helping us get this book to #1 bestseller status. The book is going to launch on January 11th, 2023. And these panel interviews are being aired right before the book launch. So we'd love to have you buy the book, and we are going to put that link for you to do that in the show notes. We'd love to have it be a #1 bestseller. We are definitely aiming for it to be award-winning. But most importantly, we'd love you, in all of our listeners in 106 countries around the world, to give yourself the gift of receiving the wisdom, the guidance, and the transmissions and the bursts of inspiration from the Wickedly Smart Women co-authors who have come together to make this initiatory book so magical. So please go get the book. Again, we'll have that for you in the show notes. And I do want to mention that the sales of this book, all of the proceeds from the sales of this book are going to our chosen nonprofit organization, which is the Life is Good Playmakers Project. The Playmakers Project helps train frontline childcare workers to go in after a disaster or some kind of traumatic experience has happened and help the children who were impacted from that to learn how to play again. And so we're really excited to have the Life is Good Playmakers Project be our beneficiary for all of the book sales. So if you're not inspired by the stories from the co-authors that we have here, listeners, then at the very least, maybe you'll be inspired to help the Life is Good playmakers. And as a result, get some extra inspiration on your bedside table too. So thank you so much to all of our listeners who are downloading, rating, and reviewing. We are now up to 106 countries, and we are going to shout out on this episode to our listeners in Australia, Canada, and India. And we will be right back with this panel.
The Wickedly Smart Women podcast is brought to you by the Wealthy Life Mentor. Women, are you on the edge knowing that life is calling you to make a change? Are you ready to be part of the evolution of what it means to be a wickedly smart woman, creating your wealthy life by design? A life that is an extraordinary work of art. Angel B. Hartwell, the Wealthy Life Mentor, is hired by women in transition. Women just like you who want to break through to their brilliance, become clear on the value of their wisdom, and embody a beauty-filled, balanced life of shameless self-expression. Discover your wealthy life readiness by taking the quiz at quiz.wealthylifementor.com.
And we are back with our Wickedly Smart Women Trusting Intuition, Taking Action, Transforming Worlds panel. And before we went to the break, we heard from Sally and Linley what they hope readers will get out of their chapter. Stacey, what do you hope readers are going to get out of your chapter? And your chapter is called From Outside Sales to Multimillion-Dollar Company Owner. So we're going to ring the bell on that as well, Multimillion-Dollar Company Owner. Stacey, what do you hope the readers will get out of your chapter?
It's a real honest chapter about how I did go from living paycheck to paycheck, married to a police officer, to running a multi-million-dollar company. And, my hope is that it inspires and motivates, and that really, it does take, sort of like playing off what Sally said, it does take, intuition, it does take tenacity, it does take believing in yourself. And, so many people, I believe, give up sort of right before it all breaks. And so my story is sort of one of, there was multiple times in the process I could have said, oh, well, I just want to go back to what was easy. But I was always like, nope, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change my kids' lives. I'm going to change hundreds of first responders' lives. And so I didn't give up. And, you'll hear in my chapter, all the times when a lot of people would have, I guess. Well, hopefully not, but, some people would have. And so it's a real inspiring story of, kind of what I call the true American dream, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and saying, hey, I'm not happy with my life the way it is. And I'm the only one that can change it. Right. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to change it for you. No huge opportunity is going to come knock at your door. You really have to get out there and work for it. And then further into my chapter, I just give you kind of the tips and tricks and things I've learned along the way, kind of here's the mistakes I made. Let me tell you about it and let me tell you how to do it so you don't have to make those mistakes. And hopefully you can get your idea or your dream to the multi-million-dollar level as well.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations on all of your accomplishments and thanks for being part of the book.
Yeah, no, I'm happy, so happy to be in it, and I'm excited to read everyone's chapters. Can't wait.
Yeah, one of the things that I find really inspiring to the listeners as well as to myself is anytime we have somebody who goes from, paycheck to multi-million dollars, that's a huge accomplishment. And if Stacey can do it, you can too, kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
We want to let you know that if Stacey could do it, you can too. And what I love, Stacey, is you like literally made it up. You made it up. What your business, it wasn't like you went in and bought a business or that it was a business that was already established or an industry. Like you literally made up your business.
Exactly. I saw a gap in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And I decided I wanted to fill it. Literally, like I said, you just have to read the chapter because there's so many times that it would have made sense to quit.
Yeah.
But I just said, no, I'm going to make this happen. And you also have to, kind of playing on what Sally said as well, you have to kind of block out the dream killers, as I call them. You have to really stay focused on, you can still love them, you can still hang out with them, but just don't share your business ideas with them because they're the ones that'll break it down piece by piece. Right. And you got to stay the course.
Yeah, beautiful. What I love there too, Stacey, is what happens with the dream killers is they give you all the logical reasons why, but they don't take into account the magic. So speaking of magic, Nicole, your chapter, A Transcendent Traveler from My Heart to My Hands, what do you hope that the readers are going to get out of your chapter?
My intention for my chapter is, I think a lot of the women already have touched on it's a culmination of, inspiring others, trusting that deep knowing that's already inside of us. But yet the world we're living in, we're kind of conditioned to kind of ignore it and build up all these walls and these layers. And my journey has been a process of, when I was much younger, building up many, many walls and layers. And over the past several years, really dismantling them and going inside and doing a lot of inner work to shed those out in order to kind of really step into my true presence, the true being that I am. A lot of people in my life around me know me as a chef, and that's what they know me as. And I also wanted to just take it as an opportunity to kind of give a little more of an intimate look into my life, a part of me that I've struggled with for many years, and kind of finally shed that part of me and share that journey, that process, which wasn't an easy one, but also ultimately just to inspire everyone to live life fearlessly. I've been navigating my life many times in very fearful situations, and you kind of just have to take a deep breath and trust that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'm on this journey now where I'm kind of stepping out of this kind of toxic restaurant industry and transitioning into my own business and into a more private chef role. And so I kind of just want to hopefully reach people and reach other members of the LGBT community and even other women. For me, it's always been a struggle of kind of feeling affirmed amongst other women. And I think it was a big insecurity of my own that I was struggling with and facing. But now that I've kind of just affirming it within myself and being a part of this book is such a beautiful, beautiful opportunity, such a blessing, and really grateful to be amongst everyone here. So hopefully just to inspire everyone to just go out there and get it. I still feel like I'm very early on in my journey, and I'm ready to kind of see what doors are going to open from taking on a beautiful project like this and putting myself out there even more to hopefully open up and see what else is possible.
Beautiful. All right. So in the last little round here, we only have probably 5 minutes left total. So in the last little round, the book, Wickedly Smart Women, Trusting Intuition, Taking Action, and Transforming Worlds. We're talking about 3 different things that all go together. What I'd love to hear from each of you is, of those 3 things, trusting intuition, taking action, or transforming worlds, which one do you feel most resonant with and why? And what would you like our readers to take away from that piece? So is it trusting intuition? Is it taking action? Or is it transforming worlds? And if it's transforming worlds, is there a specific world that you're interested in transforming? So we're going to start with you, Sally.
I would say probably the taking action, because that was the thing that propelled me forward. It was, during 2020, I looked at my life and I realized that I was a mess and I needed to do something differently. And so I started taking action, and that's what turned my whole life around. So that's what really, connected with me.
Beautiful. Nicole?
For me, I think it would be transforming worlds. I mean, my chapter is called Transcendent Traveler. As a transgender woman, the word transformation, it's the root there. And so I think for me, the world I'm trying to transform is the world at large, to break down the constructs that we've been living under in society for the past several years now, many years, generations. And so for me, I want to break down those barriers. And for me, I have this very special talent where I'm a chef, and I want to do that through food. And kind of in my introduction is I really think cooking is a beautiful way for me to touch people's hearts and nourish them and really kind of break down those barriers and transform their world and go out there and travel and keep transcending.
Beautiful. Stacey?
Take action for sure. Without a doubt. I hear a lot of people say they just don't know what they want to do. They just can't figure out, what business they want to start, or, and I say, fail more, go try more stuff, just take action, just make it happen. And, if you don't know what you want to do, that's what you need to do, is just fail more. And eventually you'll figure out the thing that's right for you.
Beautiful. Well, what I love there too, Stacey, is there's this knowing that the failure doesn't have to be the end, right? Right. The failure doesn't have to be the end. And, to spiral back to a little bit of what Nicole just said, there have been so many constructs, even around the idea of taking action in bringing your dreams into reality. There are these constructs that say, oh, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or that's not the safe thing to do. And so there's this invitation to even allow your intuition sometimes to result in a failure, but that failure actually can be a gift. That failure
absolutely.
can be a gift.
If you read my chapter, you will know that this was not the first business I tried. There's been many failures in the background that brought me to this point. And I think that's in everyone's story. And if you let the failures break you, you're never going to get there.
Yeah. Or the world break you, right, Nicole?
Right. Or the dream killers, right?
Right. Linley, what do you resonate most with? Trusting intuition, taking action, or transforming worlds? And if it's transforming worlds, what world do you want to transform?
Well, at first I'm saying all three in my mind, but really it just starts with the trusting intuition. And that's what carries you through the taking action and transforming the world. Like I talk about reaching your life dreams. I mean, if everybody was happy and doing the things that made them fulfilled, it would be so much better of a world. There would be less depression, there'd be less crime. And so I think if we learn to trust our intuition and not just do what society expects of us or limit ourselves to what society says is possible, then the world will be transformed in a wonderful way.
All right. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. So in the last 30 seconds I have here, I am going to encourage those of you who are listening to go buy the book. We are going to have that link for you in the show notes. I am so grateful to all four of you for being participants in this book. It is a book with 17 stories of women trusting intuition, wickedly smart women trusting intuition, taking action, and transforming worlds. So I want to say thank you to you, Linley Baker, Stacey Magovern, Nicole Mendes, and Sally Green for being on this panel today. Listeners, we love feedback. Please let us know what you think of today's show by calling into our listener line. We'll have that for you in the show notes, or you can send in questions or guest suggestions to listeners@wickedlysmartwomen.com. Those of you who buy the book, we definitely want feedback on the chapters. What was your favorite chapter? What was your biggest takeaway? So definitely send those in to us as well. And we might even give you a shout out on the show. Thanks for tuning in. Keep your ears open. And remember, you and you and you and you and you are wonderful women.
Thanks for tuning in, downloading, and listening. Be sure to rate and review Wickedly Smart Women on Apple Podcasts and share with other women who can benefit from today's episode. Wickedly Smart Women is the premier podcast series for informing, activating, and inspiring the leader who carries profound wisdom and knows that now is the time to welcome wealth. We welcome your feedback and guest suggestions and invite you to subscribe to our mailing list to be notified of each new episode at wickedlysmartwomen.com.